Morning folks, Jill Briggs here, and I'm just going to do a video conversation with you to help you get your head around residential 2 and hopefully prompt you to get in contact with us about how you're going. So firstly, hello, hope you're well, and looking forward to seeing you in Sydney in not too distant future, depending on when you pick up this video. The first thing that I'd like to do is to ask you how you're going. So I'm really interested in knowing how things are progressing for you, if you've done any work on those 3 things you were going to develop around leadership, and also how you're operating in your strategy group. Are you showing leadership? Is there a sense of movement and activity and outcomes? And also how you think you're presenting as a leader in that strategy group. So if you could get back to me, video, text, email, however you like, I'd love to hear from each of you how you're travelling and for you to give me some detail about those comments that I've just shared with you. If you could get them through to me as soon as possible, that'll be really useful. And I understand that some of you might be on boats and others of you might be on annual leave or whatever's going on. Some of you might be getting married or having babies. But it'd be good to know where you are before we hit Sydney. So that leads me into the second part of the video, and that is Sydney and our 3 days there. So it's not very far away now, and you've had a briefing note provided to you via email in a PDF form and also in a hard copy. So I'm really hoping you've had a read through that and got your head around what Sydney looks like. But what I would like to do is just reiterate some of the things so that you've got your head screwed on properly. I'm sure you all do, but perhaps screwed on a little bit tighter, perhaps. So most of you are going to be arriving on the Monday evening or during the day. Some of you might have even made a weekend of coming up and having some time in Sydney, which is not a bad idea. But on the Monday night, I'm assuming that you're going to get together socially. Chris and I won't be with you, but we'll be around. We might see you in the lobby of the hotel, etc., etc. So Monday night's your game. Do whatever you like with it. But Chris and I actually asked that there be another group rule for while we're in Sydney, because Potts Point Holiday Inn is actually a very posh name for just across the road from King's Cross. Now, we really like the location. King's Cross is a great space, lots of interesting things going on, but it also has a reputation of being reasonably high risk. So just to contra the high risk, we'd like you to think about our new rule, which is leave no person behind. So whatever you do on the Monday night, just make sure, no matter how insistent any person is in the team, in the NSILP team, if someone says, I'm right, you leave me, please don't. Make sure that everyone gets home safely on Monday night. Tuesday, we're going to be at the Holiday Inn, and it's a day of catching up, workshops, and also work on your strategy group. So that's a hard day. It starts at 8:30. Those of you who are coming in on the Tuesday morning, we ask that you be there by 8:30. And if that's not a possibility, please contact us if you need to change time. The Wednesday and the Tuesday night, you go out again as a group. You'll probably be working on stuff. My encouragement is to think about, that on the Tuesday night you're going to be working. The Wednesday is spent at Sydney Fish Market. It's an early start, so early will be dependent on what Sydney Fish Market tells us around what time we should be there, and that will be clear by the time we get to Sydney. So you do a tour of the Sydney Fish Market in the morning. You'll go and have a talk to a retailer there, and it's a really great start to the day. We then spend the rest of the day in the boardroom with a couple of slots for guest speakers, some workshops, and a little bit more time on your strategy. Wednesday night, we're back at the Holiday Inn for dinner up there, and it's a similar process to what we used in Darwin. So I'm hoping those of you who've got roles and responsibilities for that evening have got yourself organised about what you're going to do. Wednesday night, it finishes when it finishes, usually 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then on the Thursday, we're at the Holiday Inn again. Now, I expect some of you have looked at the schedule and thought, how can I get home on Thursday night? absolutely fine. But we finish at 4:30. So this is not a nanny state. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But if you've booked a flight that means that you have to leave Sydney at 3 o'clock on the Thursday, then you're probably going to be shortchanging yourself and your team. So I'm not going to tell you to change your flight. You just need to get yourself sorted about how you're going to keep adding value if you need to leave earlier than finish time on the Thursday. Sydney, as in Darwin, is busy. It's full on. It's lots of time together as a group. So all of you people who scored lower on your extroversion, make sure you think about how can you have some me time. Work out how do you find that time, because it is going to be essential. I expect some of you went home and absolutely fell on the couch, couldn't move after residential 1. Residential 2 is equally as intense. So for those of you who find the extroversion stuff more of a challenge, then think about how to find your space, because it's really important that you have got yourself turned on while we're in the room, because everybody's opinions are important. So, really looking forward to seeing you. Please get back to me about this first section of the video and the questions that I've asked you, and I look forward to seeing you. Have safe travel and have a good day. Bye.